Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are two brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Merry Christmas, Lee.
Oh, Christmas movie number 2 for week number 2 of the Christmas month. If the Advent theme, this is the one about hope, is it?
This is the one about belief.
What are the 4 Advent themes? I should know for all of our
Truth,
vaguely
beauty,
Christian
love.
schooling.
No, that's Moulin Rouge. Depends which Christmas movie.
Hope?
Die Hard is killing. Alcoholism.
No,
Joy.
it's love.
Love, joy, hope. Truth, beauty.
They are hope, faith, joy, peace.
Oh, not
Die Hard's
love.
about peace.
Die Hard's about...
This one is about faith.
This one is about faith.
It is Miracle on 34th Street. What does that make last week? What did we do last week? Make up a Christmas Carol.
Joy?
It's about joy.
Yeah, because he's a humbug.
So does that mean I have to pick a peace one for next week?
No, you have to bring a love. Wait, that wasn't even one, was
No.
it?
Hope, faith, joy, peace.
Hope.
All right. I think I can do hope. So last
Just
week,
generally, I think I can do hope.
I think...
If I try hard enough, I think
much
I can
as-
do
As
hope.
much as any millennial can. Try and have some hope.
Oh.
Miracle on 34th Street. I'm sure they hoped
It would be better.
it would be better.
It won 3 Oscars, so it's not awful. But I don't know. It was just not what I thought it was. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, and I feel like I haven't seen the remake, but I feel like this is very different. Obviously, it's from 1947, so it's 75 years old. It's going to be different than the one made in the 2000s. Every week, we rate the movie on our Archie Q De Niro scale,
We do.
which stands for very important things, such as how alcoholic the movie is. We start our podcast alcoholically
Yes.
with a cocktail that is inspired by the movie, and
Yep.
you've brought one this week. What have you got for us, brother?
This week it is called a 34th Street Miracle.
Oh, great. Good,
Thought that
easy
was
to
appropriate.
find.
So it has brandy.
Yep.
Equal parts brandy, Cointreau, lemon juice, and orange juice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sweet one.
It might be all right. Although I don't know about the brandy, but it looks pretty good.
Okay. Well,
Doesn't
the
look Christmassy,
but
it looks
quantities will come up on the screen and on the socials at Two Drink Cinema. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that's nice.
It's very tart,
Oh,
but not in a bad way. Good glasses too. Christmas present glasses. These glasses, for anyone watching on the YouTube, were a gift I gave Brett last year for Christmas.
could be colder.
So could the day.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sweating.
hot.
This is the thing that annoys me about Christmas movies, right?
It's snowing in this movie.
It's snowy and cold and white Christmas shit, and then I'm sitting there in fucking 30-degree heat,
Or
going,
now, talking about it sitting here in 35-degree heat.
going, may your days be merry and bright. Jesus.
No one's catching a sleigh anywhere today in Melbourne.
No.
It's too
The
hot.
streets weren't busy.
It's too hot. People aren't
Too
leaving
hot at
anywhere.
the beach.
They're either going to High Point or they're going to the beach.
Yep. To those 2 places, nothing else.
Not even Chadston
No, Chadstone's
High
too
Point.
far away.
and the beach.
Well, depends if you live at Chadstone. Anyway, that's a solid 3.5
And a half? Yeah.
for that cocktail, I reckon.
I think
The brandy
over
and the
ice.
Cointreau go well together.
Yeah, I actually feel like with the Cointreau, you don't need as much orange juice. It could be a little bit sweeter for me, which is why it's not a 4.
Well, to be honest, I put a bit more orange juice in because we ran out of Cointreau. This is an empty bottle of Cointreau.
Oh,
So
finally.
we've successfully emptied Cointreau.
Hit up the Patreon. We're going to change the Patreon in the new year, so don't hit up the Patreon because you're signing up for something that won't exist in a month.
Yeah.
Message us for our PayPal details
Yes.
to buy us a bottle of Cointreau. 3.5 for the cocktail is the first part of the alcoholic rating of the A for Archie.
Yes, that is correct.
I feel like I need to recap all of these things because people might just discover us. And they just talk...
Glass is chipped.
We talk a lot about Archie Q De Niro,
Yeah.
and they don't know who he is.
So, like, who the hell is that guy?
He is our mentor.
Mentor.
Don't say benefactor because then people think we have money.
Oh, yeah.
Mentor and inspiration.
Yes,
Not our producer. We need a producer,
we do.
if anyone's listening. How alcoholic is the movie itself?
Look, not very. There's a couple of drunk people in it. There's a couple of
Santa.
making your wife drunk.
Okay, Santa is very drunk. Lol.
Yeah, hilarious. Drunk Santa.
It's cold
is
out
great.
here. I've got to do something to keep myself warm.
Yep.
Okay, funny. Spiking essentially your wife's drink, not so funny.
No.
I'll make it a double, so she'll essentially. I'll make it a double so
I
she's
can
more
trick
agreeable.
her. I'll trick her by making her drunk.
But I also got a little vibe of he already knows that's going to work.
Yeah.
He already knows a double martini makes her a little bit more agreeable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he ends up making her a triple.
Yeah.
She's lightweight, so drunk she can't even hold the phone up the right way.
Oh, we'd love to have Santa stay here. That probably wasn't her voice.
I'm not sure she said Santa.
Did she say a
Santa
Claus?
or Kris Kringle.
Don't know.
He goes early with the name Kris Kringle.
Yeah, well, that's his name.
But he's not trying to hide it. Even the guy that's doing the Poor Man My Christmas Windows, he straight away is like, I am the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I had in
It
my
went
head...
that bang. Like...
Yeah. I had in my head the kind of idea that, like, he's doing all this and over the course of the movie, people realise he's actually Santa.
Maybe that's what they do in the remake. I don't know.
Yeah. I also didn't realise it was going to be a legal drama.
Yeah, courtroom. Yeah, it's a great courtroom drama, this one.
It's as much as we've said it's not good, it's probably the best Christmas-based courtroom drama of all time.
That's true. Although
Not
the
best
Santa Claus.
That's legal. That's a legal drama because but that's
They
all
don't go to
about
court.
contracts and
Right.
yeah.
They settle out of court.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
That's more if you're contract law rather than like a defense lawyer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I work at a law firm. I don't know.
But how alcoholic is the movie out of 5? I'm going to give it a 1.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's just that. It's just drunk Santa.
although if
drunk
Santa
wife.
wasn't drunk, he wouldn't have got the job at Macy's.
So it is quite...
Integral to the plot.
yeah, that's the words.
The spiking your wife's drink's not so integral, more just uncomfortable. Maybe a 1.5 then, for how important it is to the plot.
Nah, he's only in it for like a minute. Oh,
Right, 1.
1.
So out of 10, it's a 4.5 alcoholic.
Yeah.
The R in Archie stands for representation. I was going to say the R in Archie stands for R, which it does. But R representation.
Look,
The maid.
there's a black housekeeper.
Yeah. That's it.
End of story.
0.5. If that.
Because it's quite a stereotypical
That's true.
role, and I tell you what, she may as well be the girl's mum.
Well, and that
'Cause it's
guy in
just-
the other apartment
yeah.
may as well already be her dad.
Yeah, it's quite weird. I found it quite. It's just like, oh, such and such had to go home, so she left the girl with the neighbour,
Who then took her to the shops.
who the mum hadn't met yet.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring that up in Horny about the neighbour.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a 0.25 for
Yeah.
representation for me.
It
Because
represents.
even
It represents Janet as well.
he's quite wise, young
yeah.
Archie. No, Fred.
He's
Alfred.
17. Albert.
No,
Alfred.
because the neighbour is Fred and he is Alfred, which I thought was lazy
It's
naming.
confusing.
Alfred, he's quite wise. I like it because I'm sick of sweeping up dust. Just throw that paper on the floor.
Or maybe clean a more important part of the store, like the actual
Oh,
store and
and
not the
like-
change rooms.
If anyone out there is listening, I know I'm having a break from No Pants, No Problems podcast. You don't have to go to a therapist, counselor, or psychologist that is not good for you. That's my little PSA from this, because he spends
the guy that's
the whole lunch break complaining that the store psychologist.
who's not a psychologist.
No, but he doesn't. Alfred doesn't know that, but he does seem to know that he's not good. It's like,
Yeah.
apparently I hate my father, which I didn't know until he told me.
That's like that time we ran into that psychic in
that's true.
Newcastle, and she was like, "You are estranged from your father," and then our friend was like, "No, I spoke to him this morning."
She also didn't know we were coming back to Newcastle.
No,
She wasn't there to greet us. She
12
could
years later.
have given us a lift. She'd picked us up from the airport
Anyway.
rather than Steve, the racist
Steve,
taxi
the racist
driver.
taxi driver.
There are three sure things in this world: death, taxes, and regional Australian taxi drivers being racist. They're
And,
the only,
and hating Uber.
they're the only guarantees in this world.
I tell you what, the Uber drivers we got that were better than the taxi driver, though. They put
Yeah.
on music and didn't talk to us and weren't racist.
That we knew of. That, like,
Yeah, because they didn't talk. He goes, go to the airport or the train station? Airport. Thank you, that's it. End of conversation, drop me
Yeah.
off. Thanks, see you later. Enjoy your flight.
I am not going to tell people not to be well, you shouldn't be racist.
Don't be
But
racist.
If you are racist,
Don't
don't
be racist.
be racist to strangers.
The first sentence out of your mouth after you've blatantly overcharged us, partially our fault, is racism.
Yeah. Can I say it?
He said,
What do you know about Newcastle?
what do you know about Newcastle? Not much. Oh, well, as you said, we still have white taxi drivers.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm not
And then
gonna- not
then
gonna
he
name him.
thought we were here on business. Then we weren't. We were going to a concert. Then at the end, 45 awkward minutes later, was like, oh, here, I'll give you the receipt. I'm
But
not sure
also,
what you're doing with your expenses.
We were going to a tiny shit nothing town because it was kind of close to the
Still got his card in my wallet.
kind of close to the concert. So we went to this little nothing town just to get a room, and
It was between. It was perfectly
But he still
between
thought-
the concert and the airport.
he still thought we might have been on business. Like, there's a pharmacy, a bottle-o, and a pub in this town. What business are we doing?
There is a pharmacy that closes at midday on a
It
Saturday.
isn't open Sundays because country.
The only thing open on a Sunday was the pub and the bottle-o,
Yep.
which is fine.
Regional Australia, ladies and gentlemen. In
Yeah.
the States, that's how it works. In
Sunday
the States and the
Sunday
world.
at the pub is country music day.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our Christmas festivities.
Representation 0.25 because there was a character, which many movies, I'm sure, in 1947 didn't have any characters of colour. But she was in a position that is very stereotypical for her race.
And she took.
She did a good job, though.
She was pretty good.
She's a very good maid looking after the kid because the mum wasn't around. It was a bit Naomi Watts, but at least
But well, at least she left it with a maid.
she had a maid. Naomi Watts was just fend for yourself, kid, while I go and save some chick out of a well.
Yeah, I care more about that chick in the well who's clearly already dead. Anyway,
Did I cry is the C in Archie. I did not cry.
no, I didn't think you would.
Um,
Can I just say, it was weird. I was like,
wasn't that engaged in the movie, that's
No.
why.
I was like, wow, Natalie Wood, you're dull. I go, that's the point of the character, but it's like, God, like, give me something.
She didn't sing. That was disappointing.
It was like, well, she didn't sing in West Side Story either.
Yep.
It was just like, there is no such thing as giants. I'm like, oh, she was an all right actor,
She was, yes.
but it was just boring.
I think, yeah. And then but then you could kind of, were meant to see that she becomes a little more exciting as the movie goes on, but she doesn't. Even when she starts to believe shit, she's still like, yes, he is Santa Claus. Not like excited about him being Santa Claus,
Yeah.
just everything is a fact for Natalie Wood's character.
Her life wasn't changed by the fact that now her whole belief system has been shattered.
Yeah, no, she just moved from
At the age of, what, 8?
she just
11?
moved from this set of facts to that set of facts without
Yeah.
any issue whatsoever. Boomers, take note. You don't
Oy.
have to make an entire Facebook personality about your belief system being threatened. It's okay to just change your mind and believe in
Yeah, it's
more than
okay to
two
hear
genders.
other people's opinion and go, I understand now, thank you.
Yeah. If you meet Kris Kringle and he says he's Santa, you can say yes. If you meet someone and they say they, them, you can say okay.
It's like in Family Guy when Brian is an atheist, but then he meets Jesus.
Yeah.
Then he believes in Jesus.
Even Ricky Gervais, who is a very, very, very vocal atheist, people are like, what if when you die, you meet Jesus? He'll go, he says, I'll just say, well done, mate, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you need.
But we're talking about the other person
Yeah.
to do with
We're talking about the real reason of Christmas, the birth of Santa.
the birth of Santa.
Horny.
Horny. All right.
Okay.
You had
in the
something
Archie.
to say for the
Mr.
H.
Gailey, representation,
Yeah.
he's
He-
a shifty bastard.
I tell you what, could they not got anybody better? He wasn't that good either.
I'm
I was
not
like,
talking about his actorness.
oh no, but I was also like, were other people not available to do this movie?
I feel like Maureen O'Hara is a name
Yeah.
of reasonable repute. No one else was, though.
No.
I think Natalie Wood had done more movies than Santa.
Maybe, yeah.
So maybe it was not a high budget film,
Yeah.
and so they couldn't afford someone big.
Maybe.
Aside from his acting, shifty bastard. It's quite manipulative to use the daughter to get to the mother, but also to then not back away from it. He's like, when he gets her in the kitchen, he said, I've heard that if you want to get to the mother, you go through the daughter.
Was pretty much exactly what he said.
Go through is not a good choice of words, but
No.
get friendly, that's also not a good choice of words.
Yeah. It was all very uncomfortable for
Yeah.
me. It's a strange relationship.
Also, I know the 40s were a different time, right, to now. But you would not just let a stranger go look after your kid.
Yep.
Oh, she's just in the man from the apartment at the front. Not the maid. Doesn't even say his name.
But you can see into his apartment from her apartment?
Directly and very clearly.
Is that what it was? I was a bit confused by that, but I'm like, surely not. But hey, I guess there you go.
So, yeah.
Look, he was clearly horny for the mum. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and they've been dating for some time now. Even though it's only been like a
Could
couple
be like
of weeks.
3 days, 2
Hi,
weeks.
darling. Our regular spot
Yeah.
is... I was like,
I've
wait.
booked our regular table.
I'm pretty sure the last scene we saw them in, she was all like, get away from me, you idiot.
Yeah, it's that awkward 40s, 50s movie love where it's hate, but because he's the male lead, she loves him.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That was Saboteur.
That was Saboteur. That was every Spencer
Yeah.
Tracy Catherine Hepburn
True.
movie almost.
So
was Giant.
he's horny, and then within like 3 weeks...
They'd moved
It's not
into
even
another
3
house
weeks.
together.
Like,
Did they?
Thanksgiving is late November, and this happens at least a week before Christmas. They're regular dating.
Yeah.
So in like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
they go from hate you. I used your daughter to get onto your Thanksgiving dinner table. Oh, I'll just make a sandwich. It's okay. No, come to dinner.
Come to dinner, you asshole.
And then they're dating, and he's saving Santa Claus, but then he just like decides they're moving.
Also convenient that he's a lawyer.
Yeah, well, that's how script writing works.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I know, but it was just like, oh, there
Yeah.
was no mention of that he was a lawyer until they needed to go to court.
No, he said earlier on, and there was a stupid name of the firm that was something like Haley, Macintosh, Haley and Haley.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it's like 3 of the same name, another name, and that first name again. Stupid. Bad joke.
Right.
Yeah, then he just decides that they're moving.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Like, he lost his job, so obviously he moves out of the city, but then obviously the woman has to give up her job for the man to move out of the
Of
city.
course, she doesn't
because
need a
that's the
job
way of
anymore
things.
because she's now with a man.
That's true. Divorce, that's controversial. I don't think that would have been super well accepted by the crowds of 1947.
True. Maybe he died in the war.
He didn't. She said divorced.
It's all right. That's what she told other people. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Not what she told the daughter. Because the daughter told Mr. Gailey that they were divorced.
That's true.
Yeah.
Susan?
Susan, yes, correct. But, horny. I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, 1.5, 2.
It's low tactics. People listening, don't do that.
No.
That's like 1947 fuckboy tactics.
It's like getting to the friend, becoming friends with the friend so you can meet them. Nobody.
No good.
You'd never do that.
Insults. Or are you still scoring horny?
No, 2's fine, I think. Yeah, whatever. I'm not thrilled about this movie. Insults.
I feel like we both tuned out to bits of it.
I did.
Yeah.
You know what it did? It was like, he's Santa. They don't believe him. Blah, blah, blah. He's working at Macy's.
Yeah.
Court case end.
Yeah, the court case didn't go on for very long.
No, it was like, oh, here's the mail.
That was odd. We'll get to that. Insults. He's
Doesn't seem-
contemptible, dishonest, vicious, and deceitful. That is nasty words from Santa.
From Santa, of all people.
But the whole 3 scenes before that, they're talking about how joyful and nice and lovely he is.
If that's normal, I don't want it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he says about psychiatrist that's not a psychiatrist.
Maybe he gets nasty about him because he is being no good to Alfred.
He says a funny thing about Alfred. He goes, "You're so young, it doesn't seem you've had enough time to be guilty of anything except overeating."
Yeah. Well, I suppose Alfred makes his own joke about he got the gig at Santa, being Santa
'Cause he
Claus
doesn't
at
have
the
any
Y
padding.
because he doesn't need his own padding.
Oh, it doesn't yet.
Oh,
Poor
he's
Alfred.
nice, Alfred. I hope he gets a happy ending.
In
Not
a story.
that kind of happy ending.
Yeah.
A character, a love. He
character.
falls in love with someone.
Look.
Maybe the girl that works at the makeup counter.
Ooh. Basically, anything Kris Kringle says about Mr.
Sawyer.
is insulting.
Yes. But
But that's
it.
about it, really.
Other than they constantly call him crazy.
Other than, does the movie insult Macy's? Because they're like, oh, we're shocked that you're not being greedy and telling each other,
Well,
what
I think
customers
it
to go where.
insults capitalism. And Macy's
Ooh.
represents capitalism.
Wow.
I think that's meant to be the theme of the movie. Is Christmas
is
is
real.
too commercial, so
Yes.
Santa has to come and save it.
Faith.
But that's really just like one sentence that he says to her in her office before she sacks him.
Yeah.
But like blatantly tells the theme of the story because he says, if I can convince you, then I win. You're like my mini test case. That's why I'm here for you. He's like, this
Yeah.
is the story of the movie.
Yeah.
You are the whole thing in miniature. If I can win you over, I'm good. Story told.
Yeah. End of credits.
Yeah.
Finn.
End of Act 1.
I'm going to give it a 1.5 for insults.
I am in agreement or
Okay.
agreeance. I'm not sure which of those words is correct.
Cool.
E at the end of Archie stands for enclosure.
Apartment.
Apartments 2.
Yeah.
Enclosure we
Although
score 1,
she
2,
wants
or 3.
she wants a big house for Christmas, which is a strange request.
Well, they end in a house,
Yeah.
but they live in apartments. So 2.
yeah.
Because we've decided there's only trailers, apartments, and big Kevin
Home Alone
McAllister
houses.
style houses, and
Yep.
this is apartments. So it's a 2 out of 3. All right, that's
Quotability.
Archie done.
Yeah, the Q is for quotability, right?
Which is lucky that his middle name starts with a Q, Archie.
Yeah, very handy. Susan, I speak French, but that doesn't mean I'm Joan of Arc. What was that? Oh, when he speaks Dutch.
And
Kris
when
Kringle speaks Dutch.
oh yeah, to that girl that
Doesn't
is
speak
clearly
Dutch.
American, but has been given some Dutch
Hurdy
words.
good, the good, hurdy good.
Yeah, no, but not that sounded more Dutch than her.
Okay.
Hers was like, "I am speaking the Dutch,"
Yeah.
It's like American, but just a little bit lilty,
It was like
a
Ich bin
Dutch.
ein Berliner.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Mayor Quimby.
Yeah.
Um,
Or somebody else.
yeah, I just think Mayor Quimby.
You think of Mayor
I think
Quimby.
your impersonation sounded more like Mayor Quimby.
Than JFK.
Yep.
Even though Mayor Quimby's just an impersonation of JFK
True.
anyway.
The accents, this is a little dialogue note in quotability. The accents of the characters are very class-based. So, like, the accent of, not Macy, the boss of the main woman. You know,
Yeah.
there's the main woman, her boss, and then Macy.
Mr.
The middle management.
The one that drugs his wife.
Yes. The middle management. He's got a sounding well-educated accent. Then his secretary comes in, and she has got, like, a much more common accent.
Yeah. Mr. Sawyer's on the phone.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know what that was. Oh,
I was trying to think of if I could do an accent, but I can't. So,
I don't know if I can. Please tell me if that was an accent.
quotability, I don't think it's quotable. I don't think anything comes
Not
from
really.
it.
There's that,
Merry
there's
Christmas.
that kind of bit at the end. What does she say?
Well, we don't. No, it's not. You can't remember it. It's not.
I didn't
quotable.
write it down. It's like, not God bless us everyone, but she says something that's a thing.
Oh, I wrote it in the Wednesday Wisdom. She's like, "You've still got to believe in people."
Yeah.
Faith.
Light
A second candle on the Advent wreath. For all our religious listeners, we have lit the candle of joy to the world.
Joyful, joyful, Lord.
I listened to Mariah Carey's version of Joy to the World,
Good.
not by choice,
Great.
by the choice of internet radio. And in the middle, she puts a bit of Joy from Joy to the World by Three Dog Night.
Yeah.
You know, that song from the Big Chill soundtrack. And she sings the words, right? Joy to the world, all the boys and girls, joy to the people everywhere you meet. Is what she sings, right? And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I've been singing joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Am I wrong?
I'm pretty sure the Three Dog Night, that's what I sing.
Yeah. I looked it up. The Three Dog Night version is joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea.
Yeah, good.
But Mariah Carey's joy to the people everywhere you meet makes so much more sense that I doubted that I'd been singing the Three Dog Night words
Joy
wrong.
to the people in the deep blue sea. That doesn't work.
Fishes in the deep blue sea.
People in the where you meet.
Joy to the people everywhere you meet. Joy to... That's what Mariah sings, but better.
Joy
and 2
to
octaves
the
higher.
world.
All the boys and girls, joy to the people everywhere you meet. That's what Mariah sings. It makes more sense than joy to
does.
the fishes in the deep blue sea. So
She
I
was like,
doubted
I'm not singing about
me
the
and
fishes.
Three Dog Night. She hates fish. She's on the record.
Yeah.
I don't know if she is.
She's an anti-pescatarian.
Quotability.
She eats everything but fish.
It's a 0.5.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm going to... Oh, no. I liked when Santa wrote on his staff card under age, as old as my tongue, just a little older than my teeth.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, it was cute, Santa.
He said something like, oh, and where do you live? Well, that's what this trial's going to work out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, clever
It's not
Chris
giving anything
Kringle.
away.
Yeah.
Chris with a K,
Where's
which
Mrs. Claus all this time? Just looking after the elves?
making sure the elves
Feeding
do
the
their
reindeer?
work. He's very... I would not have let... If I was Mrs. Claus or the head elf, like that guy in the Santa Claus...
Yeah. That's not Fred Savage.
No, who also is the boy that loves Wednesday Addams in Addams Family Values. I saw a clip of that during the week.
Yeah.
I would not let Santa leave to go and work at a department store in the month before Christmas.
No.
He's like, we do fuck all for 11 months and you're leaving now.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like you're taking annual leave at the end of the year. I don't know.
it's like you're an accountant. You're like, I think I'm going to have July off.
Yeah, I'll take the 30th of June.
Yeah.
Just that one day.
Oh, dear.
Um,
Quotability.
I'm giving it a 1 for quotability.
Okay, I'm giving it a 0.5. Drink is the start of De Niro, and that's whether or not it is Coke or Pepsi, because that is very important to know. that tells us a lot about the quality of the movie, whether they've sprung for the product placement of Coke or Pepsi. This sprung for neither.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a Coke.
A sign on the street.
Yeah,
Or
I was expecting to see something. Maybe it's too early.
Coke existed
Yeah, I
before
know.
World War II. We know that because the Nazis invented Fanta.
Oop. So was zero.
No Coke or Pepsi.
We haven't had a Coke or a Pepsi for a while, I don't think.
No, maybe I need to make a better choice next.
Maybe it just needs
Something
to be
to
D
do
for
with hope.
product placement.
Something to do with hope and Coke. Both floats. Hope floats.
Hope
That's
floats,
a movie,
Coke
isn't
floats. Hope floats. That's a movie.
it? Coke float.
I think with Sandra Bullock in it.
Is she Hope?
Does she float?
Yeah, I'm
Does that mean
wondering.
she's a witch?
Or is that lake from
A
the
duck.
lake? Is that the lake that she floats on from the lake house when she sends back in time letters to someone?
I'm confused. Let's move on.
Doesn't she have that movie where she sends letters
Lake
back
House.
in time?
Yeah,
the Lake
with
House.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah.
It's apparently really shit. There's also a Family Guy reference in that he sticks his dick in the mailbox.
All right. This is a kids' movie. Brett.
Moving on.
Calm down.
Is it?
I don't
It's
think
boring.
it is. I don't know if you're listening and you were a kid in 1947. Well done. And
Yeah, well done for making it this far.
would you have watched this?
Call Grandma.
Yeah. See if she remembers Miracle on 34th Street, going to the one picture theatre in Melbourne
Yeah.
to go and see it. I don't know.
No, I don't. It was just kind of dull. But we'll
Grandma
get to
was
that
a
in the end.
teenager in the 40s, I think, though.
Wasn't she?
I don't
10?
think she would have... 30s. Oh, yeah.
35?
Okay.
37.
35-ish.
Yeah.
Well, she's 96 now.
86.
86 now. Do some maths, someone else.
Anyway.
Endurance. Speaking of age.
Speaking of age.
Look, it's been replaced.
It's
I wrote
been remade.
I wrote remade, but it's been replaced.
The story is still endures. Like, people know the story of Miracle on 34th Street.
Well, I
it's
don't know if
referenced
they do.
a bit and stuff, you know.
I didn't know the story. I knew that there was a Santa in New York and that A Miracle on 34th Street was made and remade. I didn't know it was a courtroom drama.
Right.
So I didn't know the story.
Oh.
But it's endured in that people know that it exists.
Yep.
It's still relevant.
It's still kind
in
of
that
relevant.
capitalism is fucking up Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is why we're lighting Advent candles and not trying to sell you onto our Patreon.
Yeah. You can sign up to one of the 4 different packages in Patreon.
Yeah. Hope, joy, faith.
I keep saying truth, beauty,
and
love. Fucking hell.
Hope, joy,
I just watched
faith,
Moulin Rouge.
and presents.
Truth, beauty.
Is that a Christmas movie?
Love. What's the 4th one? Hope.
Music.
Truth, beauty,
Do you want
music,
me to look that
love?
up too?
Truth. Truth.
I've looked up Advent themes, Bohemian themes.
Truth. Something, beauty, love.
Oh no, that's telling me how to plan a Bohemian themed wedding.
Oh gosh.
Moulin
Truth,
Rouge.
beauty, truth,
Truth.
freedom.
Beauty, freedom, love.
Truth, beauty, freedom, love. There you go.
Okay?
Anyway,
So
I was getting
they're,
confused.
They're 2 Drink Cinema Advent candles.
Yeah.
So what was... We have to redo Muppet Christmas Carol then. Truth, beauty, freedom, love. Truth. Because it tells me how much of an asshole he is.
Ooh.
Love. Freedom.
No.
Freedom, because she moves out of her city apartment into a proper house. Okay?
Right.
So we need beauty and love in the last
Okay.
2 movies of the year.
Endurance, okay. The enduring of the leaving a child alone with a strange man you've never met
Yeah.
hasn't stood the test of time.
No. Although, the way Air Tasker goes, you probably could Air Task a babysitter.
That's,
like Uber.
Yeah.
Would Uber, we've discussed this before, would Uber let you just put your kid in an Uber?
No, I don't think they would.
It's all tracked and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, we discussed it because, what movie was it? It was Fatal Attraction, where Michael Douglas just puts his kid and the dog in a taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they would. Anyway, endurance, I'm going to give it a 1.5
Yeah, same.
because it endured enough to get remade in the 2000s.
90s?
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the
Oh,
90s.
yeah,
Because that
90s.
girl was the same age as she is in the 90s.
In Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah,
and Matilda.
And that's about it.
It's not bad. That's 3 decent movies.
No, there's another one she's done that's decent.
Just us.
Oh.
Okay.
Speaking of the 90s,
Nostalgia. Oh, titles at the start.
I have no nostalgia for this version of the movie.
Or the other version of the movie.
I was looking at going, Natalie Wood seems like 6 years old.
I kept looking at Natalie Wood and I'm like, why does she sound weird? I'm like, because she's not Puerto Rican.
She's not Puerto Rican. She's not trying to put on a Puerto Rican accent.
I listened to a podcast recently, Bad Movies and Beer, where they talked about Super Mario Brothers, the movie, and how fucking atrocious it is.
Because Anya Taylor-Joy just sounds like Anya Taylor-Joy.
No,
and,
the
and our
original one.
best friend Keegan-Michael Key.
The original one.
Oh, with Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, who's Latino, plays a Mario brother, right?
Yeah.
But then I read a headline, because I don't have time to read articles, of an article the other day that said John Leguizamo can't watch the movie he was in where Al Pacino plays a Puerto Rican because Al Pacino's not Latino.
Right.
I'm like, you played Mario.
Yeah, you played Luigi Mario.
Luigi Mario, which is like the most Italian name of a character, number one.
Yeah.
But also
The
you're
most
not
iconic Italian character in movie history.
second, Mario.
Mario, Luigi Mario, Vito Corleone.
We did a Godfather episode.
We
Go
did.
back and listen to it.
We
We won't be doing Super Mario Bros.
because then 8 years later or so, Natalie Wood is like rebellion teenager in Rebel Without a Cause, and I'm like, how is this the same person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, still very young.
Very good. She's good.
She's good.
But no nostalgia, 0.
I'm going to give it a 0.5
Why?
for the remake.
Okay.
For a
Impact.
young Natalie Wood. I mean, Natalie Wood, Thelma
But it didn't
Ritter's
launch
first movie.
her.
Well, kind of did. It was her first big movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Thelma Ritter, yes. To her first movie. And she played Thelma Ritter as a mum, really.
Yeah.
She was good. And like we predicted, it was a small part.
And she was playing Thelma Ritter.
Yeah. Is the fact that it was remade an impact?
I think so. Because it's had like an actual impact because a remake has been made. The story's very well known. It's been referenced in thing. I'm pretty sure there is a Simpsons episode where they're at a court thing and they dump all these letters at the court.
Isn't that the monorail episode?
Yeah. Is it the monorail one? Or is it the Itchy and Scratchy and the old guy sues? These are all letters to Santa.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that it existed. So, all right, I'm going to give it
I'm going to give it a 1.
1.5 for impact then.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, we are not selling this movie.
No.
If people actually watch this movie and have a different thought, please tell us.
Yeah, at 2 Drink Cinema on the socials. Please let us know what you think. I just didn't engage in it. I don't know, maybe I was expecting...
It's because it's black and white. I can't watch black and white movies.
We'll get to Google reviews. I'm sure that'll be mentioned.
Good.
I don't know if I was expecting a more nice kids movie, like I imagine the 90s one is.
Yeah.
But this was like
I don't think it's like
somewhere between Mrs. Doubtfire and To Kill a Mockingbird.
it's got a kid in it, but it's like they didn't quite write it for kids.
But I also...
Because it's the basis of the movie really is that people think Santa isn't real. So you're going to screw kids up?
Then there's that whole plot of like commercialism and capitalism is fucked, but all of the shops actually do well by being generous.
Which is so not true. I'm not going to go to Maya, right?
Yeah.
One, I'm not going to go to Maya and go, oh, do you have this? And then they'll go, oh, no, it's at David Jones.
No, I think they do.
I'm not going to then go like, oh, well, I'm going to keep shopping at Maya now.
I'm going to come back more often to Maya.
No, because I'm not going to walk and go, oh, they were nice that one time. I'm like, no, I need this thing. I can get it at Kmart.
I think commercialism has changed. I think shops...
But also you Google where it is before you go.
I think shops do say, we don't have it, but I think this place does. I've had that said to me by shops. Or more particularly the staff working in the shops.
I've had it said at a bottle-o when I was trying to find an ingredient for a cocktail. What was it? Apple schnapps.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, IGA, have you tried the BWS or Liquorland? I'm like, yes. Have you tried the Thirsty Camel? I'm like, no, I'm not going that way.
That's also just like, that's pretty generic. But that wasn't very deep, that bit of the story.
No, I was kind of
I'm
skimmed
like,
over a bit. It was
is
more
the point
about...
that people don't believe in Santa, or is the point that commercialism has fucked Christmas? Is the point that if you find a man who's a good enough lawyer to get Santa Claus off, just move in with him wherever he wants you to live?
Yeah.
Was that the point of the movie?
Just settle. He wore you down. He's friends with your daughter.
Oh, gross. Wore you down, Paul. Rewatchability.
I'm going to give it a rewatchability of 1.5.
I'm going to give it a rewatchability of 1. I'd rather watch the other one, and I've never seen it.
I'd rather watch It's a Wonderful Life again.
In terms of every Christmas, which I think all of our Christmas movies we need to look at rewatchability in the frame of, do people watch it every Christmas?
People would watch this every Christmas. No.
Some people might.
It's not up to the level of It's a Wonderful Life, Love Actually, Home Alone.
I think more people would watch the other one every Christmas.
I would watch Muppet Christmas Carol twice before I watch this again.
Yes, that's correct. Because you said it. So it's a 1 for rewatchability.
Thank you for agreeing with me on the statement I made. Look, I tell you what, another shit parenting score is almost in here with her.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the whole thing.
Maybe that we need a new scale for 2023.
Nah.
We put enough
We've
work
done
into
enough.
doing this.
We've done enough.
Overall, it's the O of De Niro for Archie Q De Niro scale. It was very simply written, dialogically and storyly. Almost too simple. There were a couple of points where they're just like told you what the story is.
You know, like sometimes you watch old movies and it's like, wow, this would have been pretty impressive and groundbreaking in 1946, 7. You watch this and you go,
No.
well,
Yeah. No.
he's good.
Santa's good.
Santa's good.
Natalie Wood's good.
Won an Oscar.
Did he?
Santa, yeah.
Best supporting actor.
Yeah. Slow year.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting to see how far psychology has come. Nowadays, you can just get committed because you can't touch your nose. Like, that was one of the tests to see if he was, quote, mental. Can you touch your nose? Like, that's the drunk test in the American polices. It's... What day of the week is it? What's your birthday? That's to determine if you're mentally ill.
Which day of the week is it? Who was the first president?
How many fingers am I holding up?
How many fingers am I holding up? I'll give you one finger. God.
And then he bops him on the head with the cane.
He was
He
quite
is
aggressive. Yeah.
He picked it.
Picked it.
That's
He's
one
not a
point-
psychologist, but
It's 1 point to Sawyer. Because
Yeah.
Sawyer says, if you challenge his idea, he is going to bop you on the head with the cane.
Yeah.
And he didn't challenge Chris Kringle's idea. He was an arsehole to the 17-year-old staff member who he probably shouldn't have been seeing without parental consent because he's under the age of 18.
I'm assuming that the 17-year-old janitor, Alfred, doesn't have parents.
Oh, you think he lives in the store like Olivia Newton-John in A Mum for Christmas?
It's kind of like that, but also nothing like that at all.
Can we watch that Christmas Eve?
Oh, too soon.
A Mom for Christmas. They should be playing it.
Oh,
That should be the movie they play after Carols. Channel 9?
yeah, get on
your
it.
shit together. I'm going to ring Channel 9. 139999. Do you reckon that will get me through to Channel 9?
No.
9. Anyway, whatever.
1-800-999-999.
Yeah, maybe. We'll try them in the break. We won't.
1-800-Maguire.
Yeah, basically.
1-800-Stefanovic.
It is
This all
overall
very random.
a 2.
Meh. I'm giving it a 2.
Yeah.
It was just, it is what it is. It's kind of nice, but boring. It could go deeper. That
Well, that's
sounds
the
like
thing.
somebody I met
for
once.
a kids.
How's that for a kids comment movie? Something.
Kids, it's kind of a kids movie, but it isn't. But it doesn't be drama enough and in depth enough to be an adult movie. Not adult, like that joke.
That the adults can watch with
A grown-up
the kids.
movie.
Yeah.
No, but it's not like a drama for adults to watch. It does because it doesn't go deep enough. But it's not nice and fun enough to be a kids movie. So it's kind of an in between, and it's neither.
I get you.
But might be trying to be both.
I just think it was like 20th Century Fox churning out a Christmas movie with Santa in it.
I think they just wrote a movie and then put a Christmas thing on it. Because it's not festive. The movie isn't festive like Christmas movies.
Yeah, there's no, like the music's even just a little bit like festive, but not that much.
The music's pretty generic orchestral movie score, kind of.
Like,
There's
with
not
like
I don't even hear many sleigh bells.
Ding, 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 and then the score goes from that.
Yeah. Santa doesn't know the words to Jingle Bells.
Well, because it's not a traditional one.
But when he hears it after the poor man's Christmas windows, he goes, "Oh, this song," and then he goes, "Jingle bells, jingle bells," and doesn't know any more words. And there's more than one verse to Jingle Bells.
Batman smells.
I couldn't tell you their words, but anyway.
No, it's like the second verse of the fucking national anthem.
I
Nobody cares.
do like that his next of kin are the reindeer.
No, Donna and Dancer and
don't
Prancer
like
and Vixen.
That
it's not Mrs. Claus.
Well, that's true. I also don't like how corrupt the judge is.
Yeah, that was weird.
That politician-y
whole
guy is just
ending-
like, "You better say this," and then coughs and essentially stops court proceedings to tell the judge what to say. In open court, he doesn't take him into chambers.
Saying you have to say Santa is real.
Yeah, he says that in chambers, but then in open court, stops the trial to remind him.
Recess is basically what he does.
Yeah. Dodge.
And then the mail thing is weird. It's like, again, it's like they rushed it and were like, how can we end this? The mail. People send letters. Yeah,
But
that'll
also,
do.
there's no conversation between the mail sorter flicking the letters up onto the pipes and the mail boss.
And Mr. Gailey.
No, there's no conversation between the mail sorter and the mail boss that establishes that they both believe in Santa Claus and think it's really important to do this. It's just like, he's on trial. Well, we better get these fucking letters there. Because you believe in Santa Claus, or
I don't know.
You have kids,
or you want to be busy leading up to Christmas,
or you're just like, I used to take my smoke breaks in the dead letter office, and now it's full of letters, and we need to get rid of them. Like,
it was all very strange.
Very strange.
So yeah, I'm giving it a 2.
And one more thing, Mr. Gailey.
Yeah.
Low tactics around children. I'm not making any other inferences.
Oh, with the
he
brings in
uses
the son.
daughter to get to the mum, and he uses the son to get to the dad.
Yeah.
Bringing on the lawyer's son to be like, "Daddy, you told me Santa Claus is real." Like, well, fucking case closed. Done.
Yeah. And then the judge is like, oh, well, then it must be real if the parent said that to a kid.
Yeah,
Our parents said that.
But also as a judge, if the lawyer can't argue any more points...
Until I found my letter to Santa in the glove box of our car.
Oh. I found the presents in the mum and dad's wardrobe. It was the year we were living in a much smaller house and they had much less space to hide things. That's why parents now, you got to mail the letters to Santa in one of the mailboxes that they have at the shopping centre.
Yeah.
I went to a shopping centre today that even has like a table and chairs with all the paper and crayons set up next to the mailbox so they
that's
can write
smart.
it. They might also have a pencil for kids that are above crayon level.
But haven't quite got their pen license.
Yeah, no. I got my pen license on the second last day of the year.
I got mine early, considering my handwriting was never really that good.
Mine is still atrocious.
I remember Christmas and always going and looking in our backyard when I first woke up at like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And looking for a trampoline. We never got a trampoline.
Oh, I thought you were looking for the eaten carrots that Rudolph
I
ate.
didn't give a shit about that. I just wanted my presents.
Um,
And then I was like, we got a Nintendo 64. I'll take it.
yeah, it's not a trampoline, but I'll take it. I remember Dad one year put the carrots and stuff for the reindeer on the grass.
Yeah.
But then the dog ate it all.
Yeah.
But the idea was that there's a little bit left so you could see the tooth marks from the
Yes.
reindeer, but the dog ate it all. So the next year, he got up on the roof. No, I think we said, you can't put the food on the floor because the dog will eat it and there'll be nothing for Rudolph. So Dad had to get up the ladder and put the carrots on the roof where Rudolph and
But
Donna
then
and all the
we
rest
didn't
of
go up to the roof the next day. Did
To
Dad
check.
just go up and be like, yep, they've been eaten?
Dad just came and brought back a little
Here you
chunk
go.
of, yeah. The things parents do.
Oh.
Well done, parents.
Well done, parents.
For convincing your kids that Santa doesn't need a glass of milk, he needs a beer.
That is not quite relatable to everybody in every country, but
A beer and a biscuit.
yeah, shortbread.
If I was Santa, I would not want a glass of milk. I would need a Coke no sugar.
I'm lactose intolerant.
I probably am. I would need a Coke no sugar and one of Mum's mini Christmas puddings, which you can buy at dodosdelights.com.au. And then I would be right to go the next
And
house.
a mince pie.
And a mince pie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the cheap Coles ones.
Oh.
2 years ago, Coles changed their recipe, actually. And they were shit house.
And people complained.
And everyone I spoke to said they were shit house. The next year, back to the year before's recipe.
Good.
Well done on taking feedback, Mr. Cole. Coles is the department store in the new Miracle on 34th
Yeah, I
Street.
saw, because after I watched it,
Disney Plus said,
Disney Plus,
watch
you
the
should
other
watch
one.
the remake, even though I know the story.
But it might be different.
Might be better.
I feel like the girl is more involved than the mum in the new one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? We might not watch it.
The mum is Elizabeth Perkins.
Oh,
And the
Wilma
Mr. Gailey guy is,
Flintstone.
what's the dude from The Practice?
Dylan McDermott.
Pretty sure. And David Attenborough. No, Richard Attenborough is the Santa Claus.
Oh,
Jurassic
from Jurassic
Park.
Park. He's got a cane
Yeah.
in both movies.
Yeah.
Does he bop anyone on the head? He does in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, maybe we will
We
have to
haven't
watch
seen it. All right. What's the score overall on the Archie Q De Niro score? Alcohol, representation, crying, horny, insults, enclosure. Q for quotability, drink, endurance, nostalgia, impact, rewatchability. Overall,
Overall, the score total is a 25.75.
out of 100.
Yeah.
Not
That
great.
puts it in fifth last.
Well, did better than...
It did better than
Flubber.
Nosferatu had 25. 1 Hour Photo had 23. Flubber had 22.75. And Speed 2 Cruise Control had 16.25.
Imagine if a movie on the Archie Q De Niro score got lower than Stonewall got on the Pride score for Rainbow Popcorn.
Well, Speed 2 came pretty close, so I don't know how we're going to... Because we fucking hated that movie.
Because
Because it's going to have to
Stonewall
be
got-
like a movie we've never watched before and never really have any idea about, that nobody drinks, nobody cries. They live in a...
yeah,
Maybe it's 8 Mile. They live in a trailer.
I cried 8 Mile.
Really?
Can't remember when.
Is it when he talks about his mum's spaghetti?
There's a happy bit. I'm sure I cried when I watched it.
Anyway.
All right, we're going to have a break and get some reviews from Google. And then I'm going to tell you what we're watching next week.
Ooh! 2 Drink Cinema!
All right, reviews from the Google. This has a 4.8 on Google reviews.
People are looking at it with rose-covered glasses.
And it has a
not
7.9 on IMDb. So the lowest rating, there's no 1-star review on Google. There's no 1 or 2-star reviews on IMDb. So I've only found 1 3-star review.
Right.
So I'm doing this one and then I'm getting out of it.
Done. Do you want me to go first then?
This was from Shaka Fortufuf on December the 24th, 2006. So obviously they're watching it on Christmas Eve. I finally saw this movie after all of these years, and I was very disappointed in its total lack of logic. I realize
my God.
I realize it's just a movie, but if you want me to believe that guy's Santa Claus, you have to make me believe in the movie first. He says he's Santa Claus, but he lives in an old folks' home. If he's Santa Claus, wouldn't he live at the North Pole? Does this not bother anyone else? I thought the ham-handed seriousness of the mother was a bit over the top. She's less of a believer than I am, I guess. We get it. You're an atheist, and that's how you raised your daughter. The movie really could have done without that. I think you don't need super skeptic as the foil for a guy saying he's Santa Claus. Any 6 people on the street would be fine.
Right.
I think that's the point of the movie, though.
Yeah.
This one character represents all of the skeptics that don't believe.
Yeah.
/ light a candle for faith on the Advent wreath.
This is a 5-star from Rick Briggy.
Okay.
This is not how I would write it. It is
We
extremely
love
rare.
giving tips to the review writers.
It is extremely rare to find a remake that betters the original, despite the many improvements in technology and contemporary filmmaking skills. For me, the Edmund Gwen and Natalie Wood original will always stand the test of time with audiences who continue to find the authenticity of their portrayals genuine and emotionally committed.
Okay.
Casting and the acting talents are superior to those in upgraded versions, giving credit to all those who once graced our silver screens. It will remain a Christmas classic as it captures in Natalie Wood's eyes and heart the essence of belief, a sentiment that transcends logic. Attempting to duplicate perfection is a needless challenge. I feel like that wasn't so
perfect.
much about a review of this one, but more a dig at the new one.
Yeah. It's also not perfect by any stretch. Like we said, it's not good, but it's not perfect.
Oh no, where'd it go? My review's disappeared.
Technical difficulties.
All right.
Give us one more 5-star. I probably should have let you go first.
I love this Christmas classic, even though it is a fairy tale. It was sad Santa went to a nut house, but he did prove he was the one and only Santa Claus. It was hard on the little kids because they believe in him. My mother and I saw it and she liked it. She liked it okay, but I love it. Even today, kids still think there is a Santa Claus. There was a man named Saint Nick in real life, but Santa and characters like Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph and the Grinch are fairy tales. But Jesus is not a fairy tale. He is the reason for the season. I like Wonderful Life, this movie, and Holiday Inn and White Christmas, but the story of the Nativity is the best Christmas story ever.
Has there been a movie about Jesus?
I don't think anybody's really made it.
They've made Easter movies, Passion of the Christ, but not
Life of
Christmas
Brian.
movie. Life of Brian. No, just an opening scene. A balm? What are you giving him a balm for? All right, what are we doing next, Lee? Good question.
Lee, good question.
Lee. Okay. Now, this was an international co-production between the United Kingdom, the United States, and France. I'm being very picky about the information I give you because it's going to be very obvious.
Okay.
Okay?
Just give me the budget and stuff.
Budget, $40 to $45 million. Box office, $246.8 million, which I love that they're like, the budget's got a $5 million grace, but it's $246.8 million. It's a lot of movie. It's a lot of profit. It received a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. This is from Wikipedia.
I don't know a year.
Frequently shown during the Christmas season, the film has proved more popular with audiences than critics, and it has been discussed as being arguably a modern-day Christmas staple.
Oh. Is it Christmas is all around me?
Yep. And I can't tell you the release date because
Love
it's
Actually.
not an anniversary.
Yeah, I thought it was 2003.
Okay, so I posted on our...
Oh, God. I've opened a can of worms
No,
here.
I posted on our socials a couple of weeks ago asking people why everyone is celebrating the 20th anniversary of Love Actually. Because you and I looked.
Yep.
And we cannot... Because we're looking... All year we've been looking for anniversary movies.
Yeah, and we know we had to do this one at some point, but I was
Yeah.
going to wait till next year.
Because it was released in December 2003 everywhere.
Yeah.
But then I figured fucking Diane Sawyer is doing a 2-hour ABC News special.
If Diane Sawyer's doing it,
It's good enough for Diane Sawyer. It's good enough for Two Drink Cinema.
if Martha Stewart was doing a special, I wouldn't take her that seriously. She's a bloody felon.
Convict. Felon, yeah.
So
Love Actually, it was released. I'll give you some other information. It was released in the States on the 14th of November 2003, 21st of November 2003 in the UK, and on the 26th of December 2003 in Australia.
of course.
Starring Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Colin Firth, Laura Linney, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Keira Knightley, Martine McCutcheon, Bill Nighy, Rowan Atkinson. Thomas Brodie Sangster is the little kid. Tim from The Office, Martin Freeman.
Yep.
Stacey from Gavin and Stacey. Mum's always very happy to see her.
Who's she?
Just Judy.
Oh.
Yeah, with her tits out. It's just a good cast.
Yeah, big cast.
Alicia Cuthbert from the Happy Endings.
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards.
Claudia Schiffer.
Claudia
Or
Schiffer.
Is that
Yep.
the right one?
No, yes, Claudia
Yep.
Schiffer. Stage mum. That girl that sings at the end. Such a stage mum.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll talk about that next week, shall we?
I reckon... I'm going to put it out there.
Uh-oh.
This is going to win the year.
She's going to be the new number one.
Yeah. I've been having a think about it since
not
I
if I have
decided we're going to
anything
do
to say
it.
about it. Nostalgia. -3.
If you know our categories, listeners, and if you're a regular listener, you should. I reckon this is it.
Okay.
All right, I'm calling it now.
Ooh,
all right.
big.
Love Actually, watch it a year early, everyone.
You were going to watch it this year anyway, everybody. Let's
it
not.
just means we watch it 2 weeks early.
If just watching it with notes.
Yeah, with my laptop.
Do we even need to watch it?
I feel it in my fingers.
Was our concert we went to last week inspired you to do it as well?
Yeah, we saw Wet, Wet, Wet last week. If you follow me on TikTok, you will have seen a little bit of the video of Wet, Wet, Wet. We did sing Christmas is All Around Us.
Is any video that you can hear us along. So if you really love Christmas...
Maybe I'll share that one on our TikTok at Two Drink Cinema.
The concert was a 5 on the cry scale. But not for Wet, Wet, Wet.
Not for me. Brett cried. Thank you for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We have been Brett and Lee, which I don't normally say, but I thought I'd just let people know.
You'd hope they know by now.
Could be your first...
Yeah, but anyway.
You don't say my name. Oh, yeah, you do at the start.
Yeah.
Because I say, how are you, Brett? Good, Lee. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Just some on-air feedback for me. Thanks.
Production meeting. An hour and 10 minutes into the episode.
Yep.
Follow us on the socials at Two Drink Cinema. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel or the podcast, make sure you do that. Leave us a rating and review. Tell your friends. We'll be back next week with Love Actually. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Lee.
Two Drink Cinema!